Hey guys, Zulk-RS here and welcome back to MechQuest. This episode I feel like I'm just gonna chill and try to get as far up the elevator in Evil Corp as I can. But before that, since I'm already here for Energy Blade reasons, let's do some Mysterious Johnson quests. I unlocked this which was at rank 4. I did this between episodes. I captured a bunch of ghosts to unlock this. I am now a Casper Crusher. Let's see what this is.
Cookie holds secrets.
Mysterious Johnson believes that despite the chocolate chip cookie's fundamental design flaw, is vastly superior at fortune telling. Okay. Note, only the first fortune per day counts. You will encounter a hungry supermodel that you have not seen for a long time. Be sure to tell them about the boring microwave. So, this isn't a side quest, this is just some randomly generated bullshit. Yesterday is going to be completely bizarre for you. Be on the lookout for the color and a Cicero green keyboard, for it may cause you to refurbish. Your super bad numbers are 6, 40, 43, 40. You said 40 twice. 18, 15. I think I'm done. Well, that was totally useless. Let's head back to Estion. Also head back to Evil Corp. And keep grinding away at these floors. I want to get to floor 50 today if I can. Also, I should probably check. Yeah, 81 accuracy. Okay. That means you're probably going to hit a lot even with my accuracy debuffs. I was right, you missed. I thought you would hit more, but no, apparently my accuracy debuffs are more powerful than your 81 accuracy. Heh. Get missiled. Ooh. Hello. I think I'm actually losing. Huh. While I was drinking coffee, I think my air gun did not do as much damage as I hoped it would. But yeah, you are still missing a lot. 41. Hopefully this is enough damage to finish you. Yes, it is. That was close. So, while we're riding this elevator, here are a few things I've got to talk about. It's nothing important, it's just to pass the time. So, first of all, also it looks like their stats are going up by +1 for every floor I go up. So that's neat, I guess. So first of all, let me talk a bit about MechQuest. Apparently, the Rebel Fighter armor, you know, the one I got really early on in the storyline during those moon missions. Apparently that gives me a bonus to my Energy Blade combat somehow. I'm not entirely sure how exactly. I just saw it on an old forum post on the Artix Entertainment website. I do not have an account on that website, but when I was looking for non-Nova Gem Energy Blades, I got that as a suggestion, where it said that anytime you get something like anytime you have to fight an opponent, use the SDF Rebel, the Soluna Defense Force Rebel uniform? Because I guess it either gives you some protection or gives you higher damage. I'm not sure. It didn't exactly say why I should use it, just said I should. So the bad news is I don't think I am ever going to get an energy blade better than the Trefin laser. I have a really OP energy blade on my main character, my old character I should say. Because at this point I think this has become my main character. My old character was badly built, badly optimized. I don't remember shit on how I did what with that character. And I somehow have an OP as fuck sword. And I don't remember how. I think it was a special event sword of some kind. So yeah, even though that character is higher level, I think this is what I would consider my main MechQuest character at this point. Oh, I should check. On the topic of MechQuest, I should check. Okay, you have efficiency. So that means you have better energy management, I guess. Your attacks take up less energy. Yeah, I can see that. I think that's true. Still no match for the energetic air gun though. Especially when I follow it up with a stun gun. I am noticing that the battles are getting closer and closer. The stats don't help much, but they are definitely helping. And let me guess, you have reflex. Yep. Should have figured. 81 reflex, I am missing a lot here. And I think I did not lower your accuracy. Yeah, I didn't. So if the enemy has high reflex, that's a big issue. I guess having high luck might be an issue as well. Unless I do like 50 damage and get rid of all your energy, then it's not an issue anymore. Getting beard face because you're going to have to skip a turn sooner or later. There, that's what I was waiting for. Now I stun you. Now I use the energetic air gun to do nothing. I was almost going to chain stuns on him. That would have been really cool if it worked. Sadly, it did not work. Beard. Hit the beard. Try to get him to miss. Okay, you are going to have to skip next turn, I think. No, you're not going to have to skip next turn. Unless I do this. Yeah, as you can see, I barely managed to defeat him that time. I'm not just going to be talking about the same, how hard every fight is across this whole video. I have some other things I want to talk about actually for this video specifically. I want to talk a bit about DragonballZ. I don't know if I've said this before on one of my other videos. Maybe I did on the Boost Fury video. But I have a weird relationship with DragonballZ. I grew up watching it like a lot of people did, but I didn't get into it at first. Like the first time I saw DragonballZ on the TV, I remember my reaction was, oh, it's some fighty cartoon. I called it a cartoon because at that time I did not know what anime was. I didn't know that Japanese animation was Japanese animated shows made in that traditional, not traditional, made in that iconic anime style is anime. You know the one, the specific animation qualities, the specific ways characters are drawn, the ways they emote, stuff like that. You know, anime. I did not know anime was a separate thing. And so, to me, if it was animated, it was a cartoon, no matter what. And cartoons were for kids. Adult cartoons? What was that? It didn't matter if it was from the east or west or what have you, but everything was just cartoons to me at the time, and cartoons were for kids, and I was a kid, so they're for me. Hence, I guess I watched Dragon Ball Z. Well, I first discovered Dragon Ball Z way earlier, way younger than I had any right to. But I didn't actually watch it because I think the absolute first episode I saw randomly on Cartoon Network one time was, yeah, it was on Toonami, was that episode where in the Android Saga where Frieza comes back to Earth. I don't remember if Future Trunks showed up in that episode. I just remember seeing Frieza's ship land on the desert, and from it comes out Frieza's army followed by Frieza and King Cold. That's the scene I remember. I don't remember anything before or after that because I remember when I saw that scene, I was like, oh, it's some weird cartoon that I don't really get. I don't want to watch it. I wonder if any other channel has SpongeBob or Tom and Jerry on. Something like that. So I didn't really watch Dragon Ball Z, wasn't particularly interested in it at the time. What got me into Dragon Ball Z, funnily enough, was the legacy of Goku games. I got one of those CDs from my sketchy shop, and that CD had Boost Fury and Legacy of Goku 2. And I love those games to bits. And after I played, I couldn't beat those games at that age. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but I remember not being able to get very far in those games. Sorry, I finished my coffee. But like I was saying, I think at that age, I got to Legacy of Goku 2 and I got stuck in the mountain zone. You know, if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. That part in the game where you have to destroy 3 generators. I'm not elaborating. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's the part I got very stuck in. Kid me did not understand how to progress. And that was that. And in the Boost Fury section, I think I got stuck really early on. And in the Great Saiyaman Saga, when Gohan is supposed to go to school, that was the part I think I got stuck on. And I think I got stuck on it because I did not have very good reading comprehension at the time, and I did not think about stepping onto the Golden Nimbus to get Gohan to what was it, Hercule City? Yeah, to Hercule City. Instead, I tried to walk to Hercule City through the forest like an idiot, and obviously that doesn't work. So then I got stumped and was like, I don't know how to progress. So that's why I got stuck in Boost Fury, and I got stuck in Legacy of Goku 2 because of those damn generators. But anyway, after I played those games, that was what made me really want to get into Dragon Ball. And even after I got into Dragon Ball, I ended up having a really, really weird relationship with it. See, battle anime is not really my cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea back then, and it isn't right now. I think the only similar anime that I particularly liked was Digimon and Pokemon. I don't think I liked any other anime at the time because most of the anime airing on Toonami were shonen Dragon Ball type thing. I think I caught an episode of Naruto once much later. And yeah, I didn't really feel interested in it either. So yeah, battle anime has never been my cup of tea really. But because of that, even after I really got into Dragon Ball, it still had those same things that I didn't like about battle anime. But I got really interested in the world of Dragon Ball. Like, not the story necessarily. I think I watched the anime mostly because I really wanted to see the events of the game play animated. And even now, I have this weird relationship with Dragon Ball Z where I really think that the world of Dragon Ball is really interesting and has a lot of things you can do with it. But the anime itself barely does anything interesting with that world. That is my hot take when it comes to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Like, you have this concept of ki, this life energy that surrounds everyone, that's inside you, that's inside everyone, that's in the air, kind of like the Force in Star Wars in a way. And yet, by harnessing this ki, even though you can do some amazing things, anyone ever does with that power is punch people and long range punch people. Yeah, you see Kamehamehas like you obliterating people. I get that. But at the end of the day, on a basic level, what does the Kamehameha actually do? Yeah, it's supposed to be really hot, but its temperature never really comes up in the anime. The fact that it's like, I assume the Kamehameha is a really a hot beam of energy because I think I've seen a few episodes where injuries from the Kamehameha and similar ki blasts looked like burn injuries. So that might just be an animation thing and I might be wrong. So I always thought the Kamehameha and ki blast attacks, and the red explosions it leaves behind. I always thought that it must have been like hot, like really hot. But at the end of the day, functionally, no one uses Kamehameha to like ignite gas or something, or melt glass, or cauterize wounds. No one does that. For all intents and purposes in the show. By the way, I didn't watch Super, so if this is adjusted Super, I don't know about it. Don't talk to me about Super. I haven't watched the show. I know nothing about it. So I'm not talking about Super. I'm just talking about Z here. So for all intents and purposes, what the Kamehameha actually is a long range punch. It's a beam of concussive force. Or it's mechanical energy, but in beam form, if that makes sense. Hence, maybe I'm getting this mixed up with the Street Fighter lore or some shit. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, everyone in Dragon Ball, every fight in Dragon Ball boils down to punch and long range punch. I remember in the Cell Saga, I got really upset when in that scene Perfect Cell becomes Perfect Cell after absorbing Android 18. Krillin loses his shit and throws a Destructo Disc at him. It hits Cell right in the neck and no damage. I think I got really annoyed at that because to me, moves like the Solar Flare, Destructo Disc, even the special beam cannon at a point were really interesting to me because it seemed like those moves were more than just long range punch. The special beam cannon was like a concentrated beam, like in its debut episode, it was like a concentrated beam of focused energy that could hit way above its weight class. It required a lot of charging time, and maybe it couldn't even do that much damage on its own by raw energy alone. But the beam cannon specialty was that it could armor pierce, basically. So like if you had an opponent that was like really stronger than you and your normal ki blasts aren't doing enough damage, you fired the beam cannon because again, lot of force, low pressure. Lot of force, low area, therefore high pressure. It is essentially a water jet, a water cutter, but with a powerful key instead of water. That's how I saw this special beam cannon. Like a beam, a concentrated beam of high armor piercing potential. The Destructo Disc I saw as very unwieldy and hard to aim, but it had a fine edge that could cut almost anything. So these powers seemed interesting to me. So imagine how annoyed I was when even the beam cannon and the Destructo Disc was reduced down to nothing but at discount Kamehameha. Like functionally all of these moves, be it the Gallet gun or the beam cannon or the Destructo Disc or what have you, even random ki blasts, they are functionally the same thing. And again, this is why I say I have a love-hate relationship with it. I hate how simplistic all the fights in Dragon Ball Z ended up being. Like at the end of the day, all the fight was about was who has the bigger dick. I'm being crude, but that's literally what every fight in Dragon Ball Z boiled down to after the first fight. Who has the biggest dick? I think the only two fights that weren't like this was the what was it? Oh yeah, the fight of Goku versus Vegeta, and what was the other one? It wasn't Frieza. It wasn't the Ginyu Force. What was it? There was another fight. Of course, Raditz. How could I forget? It was Vegeta versus Goku, Goku Piccolo versus Raditz. These were the only two fights in the whole series where it didn't boil down to biggest dick wins. Like, think about it for a sec. Like, I already said the Raditz fight was an exception, so I'm not going deeper into it. The same fight, minus Goku versus Vegeta. Nappa and Vegeta had so much ki, so much power that the other Z fighters could do nothing against them. Like, it was obvious the other Z fighters were winning. It was just wait for Goku to show up. And how do I know that Goku will win against Nappa and Vegeta? Because at that point, after training with King Kai, Nappa, Goku basically had a bigger dick than Nappa and Vegeta. I.e. bigger key point. Therefore, Goku wins. And then in the Vegeta versus Goku fight, again like I said, that is another exception where sometimes Goku pulls a trick that gives him the edge, like Kaioken times 3 and Kaioken times 4. But then Vegeta gets injured and uses that energy attack that makes him transform into the Great Ape. Which again another cool move, I think. And then Yajirobe tries to counter that move by cutting his tail. But Goku is weak and neither Krillin nor Gohan have the power to beat Vegeta, even a weakened one. So Krillin and basically uses the same tactic to get... Was it Krillin? No. So basically Gohan suddenly grows his tail back. I don't know how Gohan grew his tail back. But basically Gohan looked up at the energy thingy Vegeta created and he turns into a great ape. So yeah, that was another battle that was cool. That was... I guess that was... I want to say that was a bit more nuanced. No, I don't think that's a new word. I guess it was just more... That battle was just more than who has the biggest dick. Oh, I guess you can say the Captain Ginyu fight is kinda like that, but those are just really, that's a really small part of the whole series, so I don't really count that. Where the highest key doesn't win. But then you go into the Namek saga. We do not talk about fake Namek. Though I actually particularly liked the fake Namek episodes. It was kinda okay, I guess. I didn't hate them. I want to say the fake Namek episode was inoffensive and forgettable. Yeah. I didn't exactly like them, but I didn't hate them with a passion either. And anyway, once you get to Namek, we see that through Zenkai boosts, Vegeta has way more ki than he used to. So now he has the biggest dick in the Frieza Force. Minus Zarbon, Form 2. In Form 1, Zarbon has a smaller dick than Vegeta. And in Form 2, he grows bigger, his dick gets bigger. Zarbon is a grower, not a shower. So he gets a bigger dick. Vegeta gets surprised by the bigness of Zarbon's dick and gets whooped. And then Vegeta gets a Zenkai boost again and inflicts CBTO on Zarbon. I am really leaning in to this dick analogy. I don't know. I think I'm channeling the power of old moist critical here. But whatever. So, and then we have the Ginyu Force. Frieza realized that in order to beat up Vegeta, he is too lazy to do it himself. But none of his soldiers can do it, so he calls in the Ginyu Force. And they have the biggest dick out of all of them. So Vegeta, Gohan and Krillin almost die. But then Goku shows up. And Goku has the biggest dick on the planet at that point. And so the Ginyu Force gets cucked by Goku. And then Goku gets hurt. He has to heal. And at that point Frieza shows up and begins beating up everyone in the dick. Begins kicking everyone in their balls. Until Goku gets out of the... Oh, and here's the fun fact about Frieza. Every time someone somehow manages to... Why am I saying somehow? All of the times Frieza got defeated, it was because someone had a bigger dick than Frieza. First, I think Piccolo showed up, and because him and Nail touched tips, he got a bigger dick than first form Frieza. And then Frieza took Viagra and turned into... second form Frieza and turned into third form Frieza, which is that xenomorph looking dude. And third form Frieza has a bigger dick than Piccolo. But then Vegeta gets a massive Zenkai boost from Dende. And so to keep up with that, Frieza enters final dick form. And then Goku shows up. Goku keeps up. But then Frieza says, this isn't my full guard. And he just keeps getting harder and longer. And then Goku goes Super Saiyan. And suddenly he has the biggest dick in the universe. And so he wins. You know what? I think I should stop right now, but you get my point. And this thing happens for the whole series. Whoever has the highest ki, it doesn't matter if you say the power levels are bullshit. It doesn't matter what the power levels say. The point is, every time there is a transformation or a technique or whatever, it all boils down to every new technique everyone comes up with. It just boils up to general power increase. General power increase. It's like in D&D terms. The Dragon Ball characters aren't even monks. If Dragon Ball characters were D&D characters, if Dragon Ball characters, every Dragon Ball character was a single D&D class, a custom D&D class, this would be what their class features are. Level 1, unarmed fighting, because yeah. And then level 2, ki blast, because yeah. Level 3 to level 20, every level after the ki blast one. And they get a combination of ki blast damage improvement, unarmed attack damage attack improvement, movement increase, and ASI. These are the only 4 abilities that they would get. Going from level 3 to level 20, they would just alternate. By that point, maybe they would throw in an extra attack or something. I don't know, maybe one extra attack. Basically, a level 20 Dragon Ball Z character would not have a wide range of different abilities doing different things. They would just have 2 abilities. Physical attack, ranged attack. Which is, again, the ki blast and the punch. And the amount of times they can punch and the amount of damage they can do on that punch just changes. And all of their stats are 30. Because that's everything they have going for them. Just general stat increases. No fancy powers, no interesting dynamics. Just generalized stat increases. That is all Dragon Ball Z characters are. Just bigger numbers. Even when they chew away the numbers, they're just in spirit. They are still following a power level system. Even if you reject power levels. And so, I always thought that it was such a waste. They could have done so much more with magic. Yeah, Dragon Ball also has magic. Imagine a Supreme Kai fighter who, one, doesn't fight with fists but fight with some kind of weapon or something. Or even if he doesn't use a weapon, and he has magic to supplement his normal fighting prowess. Instead of just ki blast, maybe he has a technique that paralyzes people. Maybe, he can create obstacles in mid-air to throw at people. Maybe he can turn invisible. Maybe he can block other people's ki sense abilities. Stuff like that. Maybe he invented a touch of death move that can kill someone with a single touch, but he has to land it. Maybe someone has I don't know what other interesting powers you can get. Maybe someone can figure out how to increase the flow of time around himself or decrease it to speed up or slow down. Again, maybe someone managed to summon, like, I'm stealing this from Gohan verse, by the way. Maybe someone managed to use ki to manifest a clone of themselves that fights together with them. Something like that. We also have... I stopped it because I think I'm done doing this for today. I've recorded for 34 minutes. I'm just going to finish off my Dragon Ball rant and call it an episode. And again, we have a lot of different alien races that we know nothing about. Like the Frieza race, we know Frieza and King Cold are mutants, but we know nothing about what the Frieza race actually is. And before someone says, oh, the Frieza race can do XYZ, and they are really strong, and blah blah blah, you are basing that off of King Cold and Frieza and maybe Cooler from the movies. Comparing the Frieza race's abilities based on what Frieza and his family can do would be like saying that the human race is really powerful in Marvel based on what Cyclops and Wolverine can do. They are mutants. Not every human can do it. Like saying the Frieza race is generally stronger because Frieza can do XYZ. It's like saying in the Marvel universe, humans can shoot lasers out of their eyes and have adamantium skeletons and have weather manipulation powers and have psychic powers because there is one X-Men that can do one of those. So no, we don't know what the Frieza race can do because Frieza and King Cold are mutants. We never got an answer to those. We don't know what happened to Namek, the disaster that caused like so many Namekians to die. Again, there is a lot of interesting plot threads in Dragon Ball, but all of it gets shoved, all of it gets buried because has harder new transformation. So that's why I said I have an interesting, a weird relationship with Dragon Ball. I love the world building, but I hate what they do with it. I feel like it has a lot of potential, but that no one just does anything with it. Yeah? Maybe it's because I just don't like shonen anime. But whatever the case is, I probably upset a lot of Dragon Ball fans or whatever, I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I have no idea. But guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Dislike it if you hated it. I'll heart your comment to let you know I've read them. So just because I hearted your comment doesn't mean I agree with it or endorse it. But if you're a salty Dragon Ball fan, feel free to call me a dumbass in the comments and I will heart it. Because like I said, I'm hiding my comments and to let you know I've read it. So just because I hearted it, it does not mean I agree with it nor endorse it. Even though I do agree, I'm kind of a dumbass. Regardless, I'm Zulk-RS and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.